Hello everyone, it's Woda again. I had a request to do some kind of walkthrough videos, so what I'm going to do today is try to tackle a few of those. Today we're going to do Google Groups. Somebody really wanted to know a little bit more about Google Groups, so I thought we'd go through and just kind of take a look at the features, kind of an overview thing, and see what's up. So the easiest way, a couple different ways to get to it. My favorite way is to just type in groups.google.com. If that's not a way that you prefer, just go to any Google, Gmail, Google website, whatever. Look for the waffle over here, and this might be in a little different order for you, but you're going to go down and find the groups icon there, and that'll bring that up for you like that. Now, what we have here, well, I'm recording this on July 7th, 2020, and so we've got the new Google Groups. The groups that you see might look different than this. They've recently updated it. There have been some changes. I'm probably going to stumble through some of that today just because they've changed some things around, but we'll figure it out. So this is kind of the dashboard of the Google Groups. What you can see is the groups that you've created, and in this account that I've got two that I've created, or I'm a manager of, or I'm part of. Recent groups, these would be ones that obviously have been most recently visited. And then a directory, and this is new, I don't remember seeing this in the classic one. Every Google group that is publicly visible within our organization, in our case it's Collins there. So these are all the Google groups that exist within Collins, and that would be kind of a neat thing to look for if you're looking to make a group. Maybe there's one already created that you can use. Also, if you've got any groups that have been starred as your favorites, for some reason that's not opening up, but yeah, apparently you can create folders underneath that too. So that's kind of cool. So obviously, whenever the way that I learn about stuff is I just like to poke around. There's really no way to break things that can't be undone, at least. So right away I noticed, the little section over here that's got different menus there. Create a group, that seems pretty straightforward, right? If you click on that, that's going to set you off to creating your new group. So let's play around with that a little bit. So this is going to be just kind of the generic name that people would see for your group. So let's say, I don't know, what are we going to call this? My friends. Right now, as you can see, as soon as you start typing that, they started to make an email address. This is going to be the group email address. So it's really important that you put some thought into this. It has to be unique to anything else that's already within the organization, because this is actually going to be an email address. Super powerful stuff we're going to do with this. For the sake of, somebody maybe wanting to use My Friends someday, I'm just going to put a bunch of nonsense in there. You can change that to whatever you want. It will create just kind of a suggestion based on what you've called the group. But this is what it's going to be labeled as, kind of in your section over here. You can add a description about what that's going to be. Again, the reason that I chose this string of nonsense is, no one's ever going to want to use that. So I don't want to take up a valuable name that somebody might use for something else. So I'm going to hit next. And this is kind of cool. So this is different. It used to be a little bit more confusing about how to manage the settings and the privacy and what people are allowed and not allowed to do within the group. So this is kind of cool. Who can join the group? So who do you want to be able to see it? And remember, the ones that are listed in the all group, those are going to be public. So this is where you're going to make that decision here. Only invited users, which are specifically people that you've sent this out to. Anyone in the organization can ask to be in the group, so they aren't automatically, able to get in. They have to ask, or anyone can join. Typically, the ones that I make are invited users only. So we'll go with that. Once someone is in your group, they're going to be labeled different authority settings, different levels of ability to do things. So there are group owners, that's going to be the highest level, managers and members, and then obviously the entire organization here. So if you're a member of the group, you can have certain capabilities. Group managers are going to have a little bit more capabilities, and owners are going to have the ultimate authority within the group. So who do we want to view the conversations? So in this case, we're going to make kind of a semi-private thing. We don't want it to be the entire organization. So we're going to just say group members can see all these conversations. Now, my phone's ringing here. Hold on. Well, we'll just let it go. Who can post? So in a situation, we've got groups within the school where we have student groups, seniors, juniors, Chesapeake seniors, whatever. We got these different levels. You don't really want students in that situation to be able to post things, right? Because they might, post something that we don't want people to see, or they might try to do some sort of prank or something. So in a situation like that, who can post? I usually have it set to group managers, and you can see that means group managers or group owners, right? This is a slide. So either of those will be able to post. And then who can view the new members? So do we want people to be able to see who's in this group? Doesn't really matter to me, so we'll keep it there. So those are the privacy settings we set up. I like this. This is way easier to see than the old classic way. So we'll hit next, and this is where we're going to start adding new members of the group via email. So I'm going to add my other account. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make my other account. Yeah, there. Let's see. And another group manager. Well, I've got this other account, so let's do that one. Try not to bug people. So this is going to be our group. It's going to be me. I've got this little EdTech account that I'm going to be the owner. The info@Collins account is going to be a manager, and then my regular everyday is just going to be a group member. I could type up a welcome to my. There we go. What kind of subscription status? So if we choose all email, that means every time that there's a post in the group, they're going to get an email about it, everybody. Digest is going to be, I think, once a day. It will kind of cluster all of the group messages together into one email. Abridged is just going to be a kind of a preview. And then also, obviously, none is going to be, there's no notifications. I'm going to keep it as all mail here, but you can play around with those. And then we're going to create the group. So we'll give it a second to do that. Boom. All right. So these are the new members, right? There's me, and I've just got an email on my other accounts. This EdTech account is the owner. This is going to be just a group member, and this is a manager. So we'll go to the group. Here we are. So now that we're here, pretty cool. Something that you can do now is, instead of having to come to Google Groups every single time that you want to make a post to this, what I want to do here is go to About, and then I'm going to copy this email address, right? This is that nonsense string of letters. There we go. I've copied that. Now let's go to Mail, my Gmail. So now, this is the email box. I'm going to create a new message that I want to send out to that group. So I'm going to put the email address of the group in there, and then I'm going to go test. I'm just going to write test one. All right, and hit send. So what that should do is that should send an email to every person in the group. Let me see here. Come on. Let me get my other account open. Give me just a second. Come on. I'll bring this over here. And of course it's not going to show. It's showing up in my other account. Did it go to spam, which would be interesting. There's all mail. Okay, it went to all mail. For some reason, it wasn't categorized in my inbox the way it's set up. But there's the email. I just sent it to one email address. There's test one. This is what the group message is going to look like. So one way for you to send a message to an entire group of people in your Google group is to send it to the email address that you can find, again, if you go to About, That's where you'll find that. There's also all that other information here. So, and then also it should start to show up as a conversation here. Sometimes that takes a little bit of time, but it should show up. That email should show up right there. If you've got moderation, there it is right there. Now people can come in here and contribute to the conversation and all that stuff. If you've got moderation stuff set up, then you can approve and deny membership or messages from members. Over here to people, this is the list of everyone and their subscription status and their role. So if I wanted to promote, say, this account to an owner, I can do that from here. It's got all that information. Pending members, these are people who have been invited that maybe haven't accepted yet. And then you can ban users too by email here too. So there's that. That's pretty cool the way they've got that set up. I like that. My membership settings, this is just where you can change your individual status of how you want to receive your emails, link it to your Google account, that kind of stuff. Other group settings, collaborative inbox, that's pretty cool. If you've got a situation where you've got a bunch of people So for example, we have this cctc@collins-cc.edu email address. This is the public-facing email address where people from the public who might have a question can send just general inquiries. So when they do that, by using the collaborative inbox, what I can do as I receive them is I can assign them to different people. So if it's an adult education question about a certain program, I know who that designated person is. I can assign them that email and they can answer that instead of me having to go around and find, different answers to all these different questions. I can just assign it to somebody else. That's kind of cool. You can also adjust, change the name of the group, change the description, all those settings that we kind of set up in the beginning. This is where you can do that. Here's some advanced settings on like posting policy. So who can moderate, what should be moderated, that kind of stuff. There's also, I noticed a little advanced thing here. I don't know what that popped up, but that's kind of cool. Always just dig through here and, figure out so prefix. So that's a good point. If we go back to that email, okay, so notice that just said test, right? So if we wanted to indicate just in the subject line that this is from the My Friends group, what you can do under this email options is add a subject prefix. And most of the ones that I've ever seen are kind of these square brackets. And you just kind of put that on there. And so now the next time that we would receive an email, it would have this prefix in front of that. So it would say, My Friends group, and then the actual subject of the email. So that's kind of a cool way to indicate that. You can change the footer. So if you notice it automatically put this in here, you can customize that and make it say whatever you want it to say. And yeah, you can delete your group, all that other stuff. So that's kind of a quick overview of how groups work. One thing, a very important thing that I wanted to mention here. So if you've got a Google document, let's see, that I would like to share. So let's say this graduation requirements thing, that's something that I would like to share with a bunch of people in this group. So I can go to share, and instead of typing the individual, people's names and email addresses in here, instead of doing let me click it here, right? Instead of doing that and every single person that I want to include this, I don't have to do that. What I can do is I can find the group, click on that, and that's going to send it to everybody and share it with everybody in the group. Now, the cool thing about that is if you've got a group where the members change back and forth, the cool thing is that, you change the members inside of the Google group, that will automatically update the share status of the documents that you've shared, right? So if I remove one person from that group, they will no longer have access to every document that I have shared with that group. And that is super helpful and super powerful. And you can do that with calendars as well. So you can share calendars or calendar events or all that kind of stuff. So a lot of places in Google, when you're sharing things, if you share it with a group, then you only have to manage that one location of, who has access. Instead of, you sharing 5 or 6 files within a Google Drive with 5 or 6 different people and you list them individually, what you can do is put those people in a group, and then that way manage the group instead of the documents. It's very powerful, super cool stuff. So I'm a nerd for that. So you all know that. All right. So that's been a pretty good overview, I think, of what groups are. I'm going to go through and do another a video of just the individual tasks that are in the checklist. But if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to me, wodajr@collins-cc.edu. That's email, or you can get me on Google Chat as well. So hope everybody has a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.